I put this on today and then realized that it looked like fake hanbok. That was not the intention. Hello all my lovely cameos and welcome back to my channel. My name is Violin, and whether you take your day of rest on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, we're going to make this weekend a magical one full of fun and relaxation. A little disclaimer before we start. You don't have to take any of this seriously, but if you do find that this is helpful, or you resonate with any of the messages in any way, or even if you got some really good tingles, then I am happy to have worked a little bit of light in your life. And today we're going to be working with the Crystal Portal Oracle, as I just showed. The video for that one, the unboxing video for that one, is up on my channel as of this Tuesday. So we're just gonna play around with this one and have some fun. And I'm gonna start this off by saying, how are you guys doing? How's your weekend going? How was your week? Did you have anything fun that you did this week? You have anything fun planned for the weekend? I always like hearing what people's plans for the weekend are. It's just kind of interesting. It gives more insight, I guess, into their character. I myself, this video is not being filmed on the weekend, but this weekend I will be working. But I do have my dance class on Sunday, so that's awesome, you know. Fun stuff. Is it warm where you guys are at? Is it definitely full-blown summer? Or is it kind of like a little more like a bit of a temperate summer? Or is it like a hot, scorching summer? Or are you guys on the other hemisphere and you're experiencing winter? I've never had like winter in July. Or I guess this would be August as of posting. But it's definitely very interesting to see, and I'm very amused to see that. So you guys will have noticed when you watch the video on Tuesday that this has a lenticular spiral pattern on the edges of the cards. Very fun. This is like almost exactly in the spiral pattern, which means that we got to do some extra shuffling because some cards are not wanting to get out of order. They want to stay in their order. I don't know why. And I'm trying to like work on my shuffling, as you guys will have heard me say before in my videos, in previous videos. Come on, you guys. So it'll be interesting to see what today. Oh, that was so good, and none of them went in. Come on. Oh, I'm just gonna. That was such a good shuffle, you guys. Oh man, I was saying something and I completely forgot what it was. Oh well, I'll probably remember it eventually. Oh, yeah, that was a really good one. Cut the deck. Alright, so we're starting off with Serendipity again. If you guys have been watching these Saturday videos, you will have seen Serendipity come up 2 videos ago. And the gemstone for this one is Jade. And funnily enough, that was the first card we pulled for that Sabbath day as well. And Jade, or Serendipity, I'll look it up, has to do with good luck, abundance, and harmony. So it looks like we're getting back into that abundance mindset, or maybe also that harmony mindset. Maybe you're feeling like you're out of connection with some people in your life, or you're out of connection with yourself. So just getting back into that frequency of harmony, like understanding your, what do I want to say, like having your perspective and understanding other people's perspectives, and both of those working together to promote like a better understanding of each other and better working together of each other. And this is also very fortuitous because this is, again, a good luck card. So we're gonna sprinkle some good luck on you guys. Wishing you a lucky, lucky weekend. If any of you find any 4-leaf clovers, please leave them in the comments below. I've not found a 4-leaf clover before. So it'd be really interesting to see what your guys' experiences are with that. I think this is the right way. These guys don't have like an indication of which side is the correct side up. Reversion doesn't have meanings in oracle cards like it does in tarot cards, and I don't do tarot, but I know a few things about tarot. But reversion doesn't have any meanings in the oracle cards. It's just like, oh, you pulled the card, but it's upside down. Oops. But I always like to have them right side up because that's just a me thing. Violin likes her cards facing in all the same direction. Or not like same direction, but like same side up. So satisfying, you know, when you work on something and then you start getting that something, you know. Practice, practice, practice. Literally, you guys are like trying to, you see this spiraling? I don't know if you can see it very well thanks to the lighting, but oh, there we go. But they're literally like trying to go into order. I don't know what's wrong, you guys. You're trying to go into order. It's like, no, I'm trying to shuffle you. It's like a comedy thing you might see in an animation or something. It's like, person's trying to shuffle something only for the thing to end up completely in order. Like how to fail successfully or something like that. Ooh, innocence. Rhodochrosite. So I actually don't have any rhodochrosite, but this one is an interesting one in that it is, let me look it up. Not to be confused with rhodonite, which we pulled a couple instances, couple Sabbaths, weekends ago. Rhodochrosite, playfulness, self-love, and nurturing your inner child. Ooh. So, some of you maybe are feeling like a little bit run down and jaded by something in your life. Maybe it's your job, which I can understand, especially if you started a job and it was magical at first, and then as time goes on it becomes less and less fun and more stressful. So this card is saying it's time for you to just dig deep into your inner child, that inner playfulness that you have. Maybe you're an adult, that doesn't matter. All of us have an inner child, especially kids, and it's really important for us to nurture that inner child and really care for it, because it's really part of the human spirit. I understand, by the way, that my camera is actually a little bit further for me, so I hope you guys can see the cards. But it's really important to nurture your inner child because it is a very important part of the human spirit as well, and as also a part of your soul, I think. But it's really important to exercise that playfulness and that love of fun, because if I recall correctly, your body physicalizes that. Like, okay, that's maybe the wrong word, but it metastizes that. Like, if you're feeling cruddy or you're feeling jaded or anything like that, your body will start reacting accordingly. Like, you will experience it in your body. And so finding, if you're like happier and more joyful and really digging in to those lighter emotions, your body will react accordingly. So I don't have any scientific studies off the top of my head that I can think of as evidence for that, but look it up. Emotions do have an effect on your body. It's psychosomatic, that's what it is. But your emotions have a psychosomatic effect on your body, and when you're happier and more fulfilled, then your body translates that. And so maybe you feel healthier, your mind is clearer, but it's really important to nurture your inner child because it's nurturing your creativity, and I think also your critical thinking perhaps, and your decision making, and just leads to a healthier life overall. So maybe like play a game with yourself this coming week and see if you can find one thing. What am I thinking of? Find a plant. Find a plant, a random plant this coming week, and just make up a story about it. Like, is it a little creature? Sorry guys. Is it like a little fairy? Is it a little alien? Just go wild and come up with something, and you might be surprised how much fun you might have. Also, I know my setup has changed like twice in the past few weeks. And that is because my setup has been changing. But we've been moving stuff around and setting stuff up, and I'm really pleased with how it looks. You're only seeing like a fraction of it. But now I'm really happy with how comfy and cozy everything looks. And color coordinated too. Also, if you guys want like more like bracelet jingles, sometimes they'll slide up my arm. And I have this, I don't know if it'd be necessarily a tick, but sometimes it's when they slide up my arm, I'll like shake them down my wrist. If you guys are curious what crystals I'm wearing, I've got rose quartz for my necklace and my right middle bracelet today. And then I've got moonstone and blue lace agate on my right with the rose quartz. Then on my left, we've got clear quartz and celestite and sodalite. If any of you remember those meanings, leave them down in the comment section below. But I think it makes a really good, really interesting combination. No! Go together. I like that. One of the funner things about this deck and the affirmations deck is that I'm seeing more about crystals that I guess are beyond kind of like the beginner pool that I've been researching or looking up or been interested in. Like rhodochrosite, septarian was one we had last week, and tanzanite, which is really pretty. So it's just really fun getting introduced to all these like crystals that I don't pay as much attention to, you know what I mean? Cosmic Harmony, Emerald. We are in our Lucky Green Harmony phase this weekend, which seems appropriate because we're starting off a new month. I like that this looks like an 8 to me, or an infinity, or it also makes me think of an hourglass. Let's look up emerald in the mystical guidebook. Harmony in relationships, compassion, hope. Okay, so I was hitting the nail on the head earlier when I was talking about like harmony in relationships. So this is synchronizing with the jade. So it looks like some of you maybe are needing some assistance in deepening your relationships. Again, this goes, like I said, this goes with the serendipity card of the jade, which is also a crystal of harmony, or a card of harmony. But some of you are feeling like you could use some work in your relationships and like getting to know people better, or maybe you guys aren't on the same wavelength and so you're just trying to get on the same wavelength or frequency, as I said earlier. What else is helpful? This one's also one of compassion and hope. I think I said that. So a really important, two really important aspects of improving your relationships. First one is compassion. And again, that is having that openness and that willingness to hear another person out and understand, like put yourself in that person's shoes and try to like feel what it is that they're feeling. Having that gentleness and that softness and being willing to look at that person with love and compassion, being not just empathetic. There's one thing I heard that's really great at describing compassion, and it's like there's 3 tiers of this. The first is sympathy, where you're sympathizing with a person. Maybe you hear what they're saying, but maybe you're not quite like feeling it. And then you have empathy, which is the second tier, which you're hearing what they're saying and you're feeling it, but maybe you're not like understanding it, like you haven't completely put yourself in their shoes. And then there's compassion, which is the deepest level, and I think that one is the most important. It's really important to have compassion for other people because it helps you to strengthen those bonds with other people. And then maybe some of you guys need some hope for some of those relationships. Maybe you're trying to repair a relationship that's broken. So the second thing that you really that's really important for harmony in relationships is hope. If you go into trying to work on a relationship, but you have like a negative viewpoint, not even necessarily just a negative viewpoint, you don't think it's going to work, then it's not going to work. You put into existence what you think. So if you're having doubts about this, or maybe not necessarily doubts, but if you're having like you're feeling like this isn't gonna go well, maybe you don't trust the person, then it's not gonna go well. And it also cuts you off from applying that compassion. But if you go into that fixing with hope, if you go into it with, this is gonna go well, maybe it won't go the way I want it to, but I want to have faith in this person, I want to have faith in myself, we're going to get back on the same wavelength, then you will have a much better chance of achieving that relationship harmony. So, sprinkling some harmony on you guys. I'm not going to mention my current hyperfixation. I'm not going to mention my current hyperfixation for the third time. It's kind of a little bit like K-pop Demon Hunters. So we're getting some like good luck, hope, and relationship harmony. I'm really liking what we're seeing. Maybe just a little bit of innocence, some little bit of self-love going on when restoring those relationships. I'm rooting for you guys. I'm always rooting for you guys. And I really hope that I can offer just emotional and moral support for you guys. I want this to be a healing channel. You know what I mean? 3 feels like a pretty good number, but I want to go for a couple more cards. You know what? I was originally going to have these be like 30 minutes long, and we didn't quite do that the last couple of times, but I'm just gonna go as long as feels right. Why is this not shuffling properly? Come on, you guys. Please play nice. And our next card is Soul Nourishment, which is Moonstone, which I just mentioned I was wearing. And I feel like we got Soul Nourishment. Maybe? Yes, we got it two weekends ago. We're getting like a bunch, not a bunch, but a couple cards that we had 2 weekends ago, which I find very interesting. We will not be doing that when we get to the second deck, because it is not the same deck that we did that time. But Moonstone, I'm just going to look it back up, see what kind of advice it might have for us. So self-growth, emotional healing, and intuition. So this one goes with, in my opinion, it goes with a rhodochrosite that we pulled earlier. Doing some self-care, some maybe inner mental or emotional healing or nurturing. Maybe you guys, maybe some of you I'm thinking maybe some of you again haven't been like feeding your soul lately, and so this one is just gently inviting you to bask in that garden of self-care, letting yourself be nurtured, letting yourself also like intuitively find what it is that recharges you, maybe even the most, but just like finding things that recharge you. Maybe you have like things like maybe being creative recharges you, maybe hanging out with people recharges you, maybe reading a good book recharges you, but just finding those things that help with your spiritual hygiene. I think I'm gonna pull one more card. I find this a very pretty combination. We've got green and pink and white, which I was wearing earlier, actually. I had my moonstone and my rose quartz, but I was also wearing my moss agate bracelet, and moss agate is one of my favorites. It's a sleeper favorite. I didn't expect to like it so much, but it's just very soothing and kind of an earthy sort of stone, but it's also got like that higher vibration of an agate, which I really appreciate. It's just gorgeous, you guys. Maybe I'll get like, I've been looking into getting like a bigger piece that I can work with. Like a bigger, like maybe not necessarily a tumble, maybe something bigger than a tumble. Maybe not a tower. I already have like 4 towers. They're very cute though. There's just something about them that is very holdable. But maybe like a palm stone or something like that. Or maybe a sphere. A moss agate sphere would be really nice. I know Kiki Crystal, which I mentioned before in my very first video on this journey. In the crystal unboxing video, Kiki Crystal has some really great moss agate pieces. I would love to get a piece from them sometime. Yes! It's getting so much better. Look at that, you guys. Look at that. I'm so happy with this. Okay, what should we pull from? I think I mentioned before in last week's video that I used to be able to do like fans and stuff because I was interested in the scaling part and the like the flourishes part of cardistry. For those of you who don't know, scaling is throwing cards. So like if you've ever seen Now You See Me, you know, Jack Wilder, he'll throw cards and stuff. That was something that I was really interested in like 2-3 years ago, especially when my dad was really interested in magic. It's very fun. And my brother actually did a video where he managed to get a card all the way up like near the edge of the ceiling, which is very entertaining. They actually took a picture of it and kind of memorialized it that way. But I also was kind of into the flourishes, so like the fans and stuff. Like you could do like a fan, which these cards kind of don't do so well because they're matte. They're not slickery like playing cards are. But, oh, I forgot that I had already shuffled this. One of these times we should do a pick. You know what? Next part of this with the other deck is going to be a pick a card session. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We're kind of making this up as we go along, but which one stands out to me? This one is yelling at me. Energize, orange calcite. Ooh. I don't actually have any orange calcite, but I do have some pink calcite. It's very cute, and you guys would have seen it in the crystal unboxing video. Which reminds me, I would like to make, there's 2 videos that I need to make. There's one, actually 3. There's one that I need to make of my original collection. There is one I need to make of my bracelet collection, and then there's one that I need to make of my current collection of crystals that are not bracelets or the originals. So orange calcite, energize. We got some motivation, confidence, and inspiration. Alrighty. Lighting your path. So this is a card of like lighting a fire under your butt, basically. Like, it's time to stop sitting around and do the thing, which is actually something that I sometimes struggle with. Like, if I'm trying to do something, trying to get something done, but it's not something that I enjoy, I will absolutely struggle to do it. Fun fact, I struggle with transitions as well, which is what Moonstone is actually supposed to help with, which makes sense because it's about personal growth. But anyway, Orange Calcite and Energize. But yeah, this is basically like lighting the one where it's like lighting a fire under your butt and saying, do the thing. And some of you are going to resonate with me struggling to do the thing. Procrastination is a very easy thing to do when you don't want to do the thing, but you need to do the thing. And I totally understand that. And sometimes we just need to force ourselves to do the thing. And what I've found myself is that if I, for example, need to do the dishes, like I have some dishes that are, need to get cleaned, what I will do is when I'm at the sink, I will just kind of do like a batch of dishes, because once I get started on that first dish, then for me, it becomes hard to like stop until I have all of the dishes done. So finding a way to like almost batch do things that you're maybe struggling with. I know for some of us, including me, it can be more like a mental challenge. Like, you want to do the thing, but your mind refuses to focus on the thing. So hopefully this card will give you some ideas about how to get yourself to do the thing. Like I said, create some tactics basically for getting yourself to do the thing to stop procrastinating, especially if things have deadlines. It's not good to procrastinate when things have deadlines. Some of us, including me, I'm saying a lot of like ADHD traits today, but some of us work a lot better under pressure, as in it is almost a deadline and you need to do the thing and you end up doing the thing. Maybe it feels like you rushed it out, but you did the thing. Maybe you did do it well. And unfortunately, our sense of accomplishment that we get from rushing and succeeding tends to feed into that. If that works for you, if you're good at getting it done before the deadline, hey, if it's working, I guess don't fix what's not broken. But for those of you who like struggle with English, for those of you who struggle with procrastination and doing the thing, yeah, come up with strategies to get you to do the thing. Maybe you need to find like something that gives you energy to do the thing. So, or something that puts you in like a better mindset, like in a mindset to do the thing. Like maybe you're working on a task and then you finish the task, but you still feel like you can go on more. So now you're like, oh, okay, I can do the thing. But just really giving you that energy and that motivation to do the thing. I think we've got a good thing going. Hey, also, that can relate to the relationships and the harmony that I was talking about earlier. Like all of these cards, like half of these cards have to do with helping yourself, and then the other half-ish have to do with working on relationships. And the orange calcite can apply to both of those categories, and also probably the loving yourself could apply to the harmony ones as well, because I know that like for myself, I've found that when a relationship is in disharmony, I will definitely feel it. And last week we were talking about like restitution and making amends, and definitely like getting that relationship back into harmony makes me feel so much better. It's like, it's a relief. It's I no longer have to feel the guilt or the shame. So maybe getting that relationship back on track is also self-care for some of you. And so now, some last minute Crystal Portal Oracle symbols. I really do love this box, you guys. There's just something about it that is very tasty. And I'm not gonna stop gushing over these cards, okay? Oh, I didn't show the back in the video either, but this is what the back looks like. Oh. I like that sound. Oh, and it also says on, I think I showed the side too, but yeah, it says it on the side. Okay, so the next card deck, maybe you glimpsed it in the intro, is the Healing Waters Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I've just been feeling like working with this one today. I just kind of work on with whichever decks I'm feeling the vibes with. Like these past few days, I've been feeling the need to work with a Crystal Portal Oracle. Like, it's been yelling at me, and I'm like, I need to draw cards from it. So I put it in this video. Because I was going to do it for myself, and I figured, why not do it for you guys? Okie dokie. Healing Waters Oracle. Okay, I did put those cards back. I had some cards that I had drawn for myself. I had some cards that I drew for myself. Separated from the rest of the cards. And I'd forgotten that I had done that, so I need to shuffle them back in. I think I mentioned this before, but some of the cards come with an attunement, and it's just really like a nice thing for like getting yourself into the mind space of working with the Oracle. You don't have to do that if you work with Oracle cards, in my opinion, but yeah, just kind of a good way for getting into the headspace of that particular Oracle deck. Okie dokie. The other side up? I have the correct side up. Okay. I swear, you guys, one of these days this summer, I've got to go swimming because I love swimming. And especially if it's going to be a hot day as well. I really want to go to the pool. I really love water. I don't know if it has anything to do with me being a water sign, for those of you that like astrology. I personally am not really interested in astrology, but if any of you like astrology, I am a water sign, and I wonder if it has anything to do with my love for water. I just really like it. It's my favorite element. See, this is the thing that I'm running into when I'm doing my shuffling, is that the cards will not overlap when I shuffle them sometimes. No, sorry. Okay. Or they'll do that. They'll not like completely, they'll shuffle, but like terrifically. This deck feels so small after working with the Crystal Portal Oracle. Say that 5 times fast. Also, these cards are bent bizarrely, which makes me sad. But yeah, no, the Healing Waters Oracle is like 44 cards, and the Crystal Portal Oracle is 65 cards. That's like a whole 21 cards difference, and I definitely feel it. I don't know if I like a bigger deck or a smaller deck in my hands. They're different. It's like, to use a flamenco metaphor, it's like having different sizes of castanets in your hands, because people have different palm sizes and finger lengths And so, like, for example, I have, like, maybe, like, a normal-sized palm, but I have long fingers. So for me, I need to use bigger castanets when I play, because, again, because I have long fingers. And a smaller castanet, there's less surface area for me to do my scratching with. But a bigger castanet, there's more surface area. That is your random impromptu flamenco lesson of the weekend, in case any of you wanted to know or were interested in that thing, that sort of thing. I don't know, maybe I just do like, it's definitely a different step, and definitely a mind shift too, because the Crystal Portal Oracle has a certain style of doing things, and then the Rebecca decks have a different style of doing things. Different aesthetics, different ways of doing things. If you ever like get either the Crystal Portal Oracle or one of the Rebecca decks, the Crystal Portal Oracle is kind of more like cool almost. The aesthetic is, it's very sparkly, of course, as you guys all just saw. And kind of contemporary too, in its the guidebook entries, which you'll have, if any of you watched Tuesday's video, you'll have noticed that it's kind of like go girl or go guy or go person sort of thing, kind of got that energy to it. And then the Rebecca decks are very soft and mystical and very, I wouldn't say that they are more spiritual than the Moonstruck decks, but they definitely have this ethereal vibe to them. And I like both, because both are good in different flavors. Stagnant waters. Feeling stuck, a call for shifts, flow, and change. So this, I'm thinking, maybe has to do with what we were just talking about in the Crystal Portal Oracle about getting back to that cosmic harmony. Maybe you're having like some stagnation in your either in your relationships, in your relationship mending, or you're having you're feeling stagnant in your own inner mental, emotional life, which kind of calls back to that soul nourishment and that rhodochrosite. Maybe for some of you, the reason why you're feeling stuck, maybe the reason why you might need some of that self-love, self-care energy is because you're feeling stuck. You feel like you're not going anywhere. You feel like you've plateaued, and you feel like you're not growing. And maybe that's why you need to inject a little bit of like self-care and nourishment. Maybe either mental or spiritual or emotional, or maybe even just physical. Maybe you're feeling like you're not getting anywhere physically. If you're like working on something physically, like you're working out and you're feeling like you're kind of stuck. Those seasons do happen in our lives, and maybe you're just feeling like you need some change. So maybe that's where that self-care comes from. Maybe like changing up your routine, or like adding some new things to it, or maybe even just like if you're really going hard, maybe just like putting some of those things down, removing them because they're not serving you, or they are, but too much is starting to hinder you and cause you to slow down. Yeah, okay, I feel like I didn't hardly even need to look at the guidebook for that one. We're just in tune today with that harmony. This is very kind of funny to me because As some of you know, if you've been watching my videos, you guys will know that I am also a gamer. And like the first 2 videos on my channel are actually gaming related videos. And those of you who play Honkai Star Rail know that the Harmony is one of the paths and one of the eons in the game. Which is basically like, for those of you who don't, it's basically like an aspect of that game universe. Like there's the veracity, which has to do with like consumption. There's the nihility, which has to do with like it's like feeling like things are meaningless or something, or stuff like that. Of course it goes deeper than that, but just as an example, there's a nihility, there's the abundance, which, hey, we had some abundance cards. And then there's the harmony, which I mentioned. And I literally was just thinking about like somebody getting powers thanks to the harmony last night. So I find it very funny that we're getting a lot of harmony cards. Harmony related cards. I was sensing the harmony, the need for our harmony. God, I love these. They're so beautiful. Ooh, this is our next card, King Tide. Plenty, prosperity, receiving the fullness of life. So abundance, which I was kind of just talking about. Abundance, good luck. Ah, crud, I don't remember. Was it Emerald? Emerald is more like a harmony one. Harmony, compassion, hope. So, King Tide, which funnily enough, I guess was the one that I was reading when I was reading through the guidebook. Ooh, okay, so a king tide, for those of you who don't know, is an especially high tide that occurs several times a year when the moon is either new or full and is closest to the earth in its monthly orbit. So it's a time of plenty and abundance. So again, some of you guys have been working towards something, and now you're going to reap the rewards. If any of you have been watching my card shorts, the bloom, which was from the Rose Oracle, is kind of has a similar message to this as well. So you guys are, some of you are starting to step into that abundance, or you're working towards it, and this is encouraging you to finally reap what you have sowed. Again, I think it goes really well with the relationship advice that we pulled earlier, because I think there's such a thing as abundance in relationships. When you guys are on the same wavelength, you're feeling each other, you're very connected with each other, you're taking care of yourselves and each other, you guys flourish. You guys get that spiritual, mental, and emotional abundance, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. I am really excited for you guys. This is making me think, have you guys ever been to the beach? I've been to like 2, technically, I think there was only 2. I've been to a Pacific Northwest beach up northern Pacific Northwest beach. So I've been to a Washington beach, and then I've been to a California beach. And there's definitely differences in the 2. And I really wish at some point we could go to the beach, because that would be awesome. Again, I am craving the need to swim, the need to be in the water, become one with the water. I do know how to swim, by the way. My mom forgot that I did at one point. And she actually made us retake swimming lessons several years ago. But at one point she was like, you guys don't know how to swim. And I'm like, excuse me, I back float really well, first of all. And secondly, yes, I can in fact swim. I'm not so good with like underwater swimming, but I can swim. I can run stroke. I can't do anything really fancy, but what I know is serviceable. Ooh, Lady of the Lake. New beginnings. Something is about to happen. If any of you guys remember the Legend of the Lady of the Lake, I don't know if it says it in the entry because, again, I was reading through this and I got as far as King Tide, and funnily enough, Lady of the Lake is actually right after King Tide, so a little bit of going in order. Yes, powerful priestess or enchantress who lived in a castle in a lake beneath the mystical Isle of Avalon. And again, it's a figure in the stories of Camelot. Person offered. The one I'm thinking of is whichever knight it was that came to the lake, the lady offered the sword, whichever sword it wasn't Excalibur. The lady offered the sword to that particular knight, and then the knight went on to win battles. I don't remember exactly, again, the circumstances, but that is what I'm thinking of. So, some of you are about to maybe have something significant happen. Something significant or new is already here or will soon appear upon your path. So, a new beginning. Maybe some of you, again, in the theme of harmony, I could be wrong. So, I just like tying in with the other cards. But maybe if you feel that's not quite right, that's totally okay. Again, this is all for fun and tasty sounds, as I like to disclaim. But, maybe some of you guys are about to come into some new relationships, some new harmonies, some new melodies, are about to become the soundtrack of your life. So excited. But yeah, something significant is about to happen. Really excited for you guys. Oh yeah, no, we literally just pulled the same ones back to back. No. Shuffle, please. Every time I do these, I'm always excited when a card that we haven't gotten before comes up, because we have had some duplicates. I can't English apparently. We have had some duplicates across some of these weeks, like we just had this time. So it's always interesting to see like a card that I've hardly seen, which I haven't been working with these decks terribly long. Only about a month. I'm just realizing that I've only been working with these cards for about a month. It's been a very fun month, though. And that's all thanks to you guys. So I've been really helpful. I literally, I got these cards, and then I posted the videos for that first Tingle Tuesday, and we were off running, off to the races. So that was my Lady of the Lake, apparently. And I think I pulled something actually that was in like a similar vein. I think it was from the Rose Oracle. Oh, metamorphosis, embrace transformation. Things are now different. So this one seems to be a fairly self-explanatory card, but let's just dig into it. I opened to it. So maybe some of you are in that transitioning phase of coming back into harmony. Sorry guys, there is like, we've got sirens in the background. I'm just gonna wait. I don't know if you can hear it on the video. Some of you guys are going through those, maybe you were already doing that realignment, getting back into harmony in your relationships, but it can be it's feeling a little messy, and like maybe you feel like you're not making much progress. However, this card is encouraging you to embrace the change. Maybe you're feeling like you can't continue in this process of realignment without having to change things about yourself, like you're having to evolve. That is totally okay. Becoming a better person means acknowledging what's inside that's not working, and then removing those things or evolving those things into things that do work. So maybe some of you are feeling like you're undergoing that metamorphosis, or you're about to undergo that metamorphosis, and resisting it is not going to help. You're not going to get anything done, really. But embracing it by digging fully and deeply into that change, you come out of it a better person. Maybe the other people that you're working with also are positively affected by this change as well. So it's just a little bit encouraging. Not a little bit encouraging, a lot encouraging. Hopefully a lot encouraging for you guys. I think, what am I thinking? 3 feels really good, but I want to pull more cards. Exactly. Yes! I want to know from you guys, what is your favorite of the Oracle decks that I have displayed on this channel? We've got the Rose Oracle, the Starseed Oracle, and the Healing Waters Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. And then we've got the Crystal Portal Oracle and the Crystal Affirmations by Moonstruck. So comment down below what your guys' favorite decks, or deck, what your favorite is. I want to hear what you guys think. And maybe you feel like we haven't worked enough with these decks, perhaps, to get like a good feel for them. But maybe some of you are just like, yes, that's the deck that I like. Or maybe, I'm not really so sure about that deck. Maybe I don't feel like I resonate with it so much. But I'm interested to see what you guys think. Of course, I love all of them, which is why I got them. But yeah, there's one Oracle deck that I've been kind of like sitting on as a potential acquisition. I'm good with what I have now. I'm finding it's really a lot of fun, but the Moonology deck by Yasmin Boland is one that I've been sitting on, and I've looked at it online, and I'm like, I'm not really sure if I resonate with it, because it's more of like an astrology oriented deck, and I'm not really an astrology person. I think partly why I'm not much of a tarot person, because I don't like guidelines. I don't like highly structured meanings, I think, which is kind of what tarot is. It's more of like there's suits and major and minor arcana, and everything has a specific meaning, especially when it's reversed. And oracle decks are a lot freer, and there's a lot more room for interpretation, which I think I really appreciate because I like having freedom. And also, I feel like my autistic or ADHD, I think maybe it's the autistic side, but my autistic contrarianism is like if I pull a thing and it's advising me on something that I feel it doesn't have the authority to advise me on, I will just be like, well, I am not doing that. That's kind of what I do. Ooh, plunge, don't hold back, it's time, go for it, dive in. Looks like we're getting something that resonates with that orange calcite card that we got earlier, that energize. So going in tandem with the orange calcite card, this is a card that has encouraged you fairly, it's pretty straightforward. Go for the thing, do the thing, don't procrastinate. But I want to see what nuance the guidebook has. I'm just like flipping straight to the entries, you guys. The answer is yes, this is a confirmation card of confirmation and clarity. Ooh, so the soul inquiry that this card has is really interesting. Some of these cards have things that are called soul inquiries, which is like a question that you ask yourself that you kind of think about the answer to. And then there's like affirmations. So this one has a soul inquiry, which says, if you weren't worried about it not working out, what would you plunge into right now? Plunge right into now. Let me rephrase that. If you don't have anything holding you back, if you didn't have anything holding you back, any anxieties or worries about it, what would you dive into? What would you do? What would you just do? Again, I think this also really goes really well with the harmony and the relationships. I'm relating, it's a really great theme, you guys. It's a really great theme that we've got going here, is harmony and relationships. But again, yeah, maybe some of you just need some encouragement to dive right in. Maybe you guys are feeling anxious or nervous, or maybe you feel like you don't know what to say. I kind of feel that a lot. Actually, I also feel sometimes like I know what to say, but when the time comes to say it, it just out my head. Like I can think about it, but then when the time comes to say it, it's like, oh, nope. Your script flew out the window. Sometimes I can be like quite eloquent. My English is not Englishing today, you guys. I'm sorry, my processor is a little on the fritz, I think. It's been a little bit of a long day, and I'm filming in the evening, so yeah, again, my capacity is a little low at the moment, so a little bit of grace. But, yeah, a lot of times, maybe sometimes you feel like you know exactly what to say when you are running through the moment, like simulating the moment in your mind, or like role-playing, you're thinking, oh, I know I'll say this, and then I'll say this, and you actually get to the moment, and all that preparation flies out the window again. And this is a card that is encouraging you to just go for it. Like, you never know if you just like, maybe you've prepared for it, or you haven't prepared for it, but you're feeling like you don't have the right words ready. You'd be surprised at what you find coming out of your mouth. Because sometimes when we're not prepared, that's when we really speak from the heart, I think. So yeah, just dive right on in. I've had to do that a little bit. I actually had some reharmonizing recently. My mom is not like, she's a little wary about this stuff. I might have mentioned that before, but she's a little wary about like the crystals and whatnot, because we're Christian. And she's like, no, that's not Christian. And I'm like, well, and So I've had to do some reharmonizing, and a couple of times I just took the plunge. One of these times I was very heavily feeling like the Rose Oracle was yelling at me to pull cards for her. And an interesting thing about what the guidebook says about reading for other people, that maybe I'm not really doing so well in these readings. I hope I am. But reading for other people is sometimes like pull yourself back and allow them room to interpret, which I tried to do. But I was very heavily feeling the need to like have her pull some cards. And so I had her pull some cards. Eventually I was just like, I have to do this. But I've been feeling it very heavily, and I was nervous about how she would react. Because again, she'd not been very terribly favorable. Maybe not like disdainful or anything, but she was like wary of this. And I just had to like, okay, I'm just gonna do the thing. And I had her pull some cards, and I don't think they really meant anything to her. I don't know what she's experiencing so much in her life right now. I don't know the details. I don't know if the card's messages resonated with her. However, it opened the doors to have a conversation about the oracle cards and how I use them in my spiritual practice as a Christian. Like how it works, how I believe it works and aligns with my service to God and Jesus for myself. And it was just a really beautiful moment, I think, of rebalancing and coming back into harmony, and I really, really appreciate it. So this is some encouragement to you all to just plunge in. You never know what you might find. You never know what you might say or do that will encourage you in your thing. I think that is all the time that we have for today, you guys. I'm seeing 5 and 5. I'm really happy with what we got. Yeah, I love all of you guys. I'm gonna give you some last minute tingles. And if you guys have any, thoughts about the sound quality of the videos, my brother has actually offered to let me borrow one of his microphones and soundboards, so I'm hoping, I really want to get a nice microphone and soundboard set up. Not like a really, really super nice one, but just like one that will up the quality for these videos. So you guys let me know about the sound quality in the comments below. I will see you next time. Stay sparkling, cameos!